Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a massive debate, one that was recently fired up again by a Wall Street Journal article. And the question is a big one. Who is the single greatest investor of all time?
To really get our heads around this, let's start with sports. Think about the GOAT debate in basketball. You've got LeBron James, the all-time points leader, a model of incredible longevity. And then you have Michael Jordan, whose absolute dominance and string of championships in his era was just, well, it was untouchable.
So that's the big question, right? Do you measure greatness by the stats or by the sheer game-changing impact someone had? We're going to apply that exact same lens to the world of investing. What really makes a GOAT?
Okay, let's kick things off with the most obvious metric there is. Pure, staggering, almost unbelievable financial returns. These are the investors we're going to call the titans of return.
First up, we have Jim Simons. And this guy's background is like something out of a movie. He was a brilliant mathematician who was also a literal codebreaker for the US government during the Cold War. Then, he decided, hey, I'm going to point these skills at the market. And wow, the results were historic.
Just look at this number. 66%, that was the gross annual return of his Medallion Fund for 30 years, between 1988 and 2018. To put that into perspective, if you had put in $1 before fees, it would have turned into nearly $7 million. It's a record that isn't just broken, it's in a completely different universe.
All right, now let's rewind the clock a bit and talk about a legend from a totally different era, Jesse Livermore. They called him the Boy Plunger, and a lot of people think he was the greatest pure trader who ever lived.
His most famous move? He shorted the market right before the huge crash of 1929 and walked away with $100 million. In today's money, that's almost $2 billion. I mean, think about that. An absolutely legendary call that went against the entire world.
And then there's a name you might know, the people's champion, Peter Lynch. He totally demystified investing for a whole generation of people with his super simple, super powerful idea, buy what you know. While he was running Fidelity's Magellan Fund, he put up a compound annual return of 29.2%. And get this, he took a fund that had just $18 million and in only 13 years grew it to $14 billion. Just incredible. Okay, so those numbers are insane. But is that the only thing that matters? Maybe not. Maybe true greatness isn't just about the money you make for yourself, but about having an enduring philosophy that helps countless other people. These are the legends of wisdom.
Let's start with someone you might not have heard of. Hetty Green. Her nickname was the Witch of Wall Street, and she was one of the original value investors. She became one of the richest people in America at a time when women couldn't even vote.
I mean, how simple and powerful is that? It's basically the core of what we now call value investing. And by following that simple rule, she built a fortune that would be worth as much as $5 billion today.
And of course, we have to talk about the most famous investor of our time, the Oracle of Omaha himself, Warren Buffett. He was a student of Benjamin Graham, who is literally the father of value investing, and Buffett has become a true global icon.
For 60 years, his annual letters from Berkshire Hathaway have been packed with priceless wisdom, not just about investing, but about life. And this quote right here is just genius. It's profound advice for the hardcore analyst and for the everyday person. So we've got the number crunchers and the philosophers, the titans and the legends. But hang on, here's where we throw a little curveball into the story. Is personal wealth the only way we should be measuring an investor's true impact? What if the very definition of greatest is changing right before our eyes? Maybe today's GOAT needs a whole new set of criteria. Things like public transparency, teaching others in real time, and pushing the boundaries with new technology.
So, to really dig into this idea, let's look at a case study. This is a name that wasn't on that original Wall Street Journal list, but his career is a really powerful example of this new, modern definition. His name is Phil Davis. You see, his whole contribution is just framed so differently. Instead of working in some secret hedge fund, his career has been about teaching thousands of traders live, every single day for 2 decades. He's also a serial entrepreneur, and he's got this famous live market call during a crash that brought in a 469% return. And this is where it gets really forward-thinking. He's a pioneer in integrating artificial intelligence into investing. His latest project is called the AGI Roundtable. It's basically a network where his human expertise works alongside specialized AI partners like Warren 2.0 for big picture analysis and Zephyr for modeling risk. This is a whole new frontier for teaching people how to invest.
So what this really boils down to are two totally different models for greatness. You have the classic GOATs, who are defined by those mind-blowing personal returns, but then you have this idea of a modern GOAT, where the key metric is direct, scalable educational impact.
And this takes us right back to where we started, with that sports analogy. Is the greatest of all time the biggest scorer, the one who just racks up their own personal stats? Or is it the player who fundamentally changes how the game is played, making everyone else on the court better?
Look, we didn't make this to tell you who the GOAT is. We made it to give you a whole new way to think about the question itself.
As one writer put it, maybe investing isn't just about allocating capital. Maybe the greatest investment of all is allocating knowledge and investing in other people.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. When you think about the greatest of all time, what criteria really, truly matter the most to you? Is it the person who won the game by the biggest margin, or is it the one who taught you how to play in the first place? Think about it.